to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Climb the ladder, kid! Make yourself famous!
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi, and my co-host is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Chucky!
We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're on the road again.
We are on the road again to WrestleMania 39. You see it in the background there. The excitement is real. If the listeners haven't heard already or seen on social media, Tuck, we will be live in Los Angeles in just 8 days. 8 days away from reuniting once again.
Reunited and it feels so good. Yeah, stoked. Not excited for my bank account, but it's gonna be a ruckus. I think I'm there. I think less than 72 hours, kind of in and out, but
it's gonna fly by.
We got NXT Saturday morning, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, GCW shenanigans Saturday at midnight.
Oh, you know me. I love GCW.
Shows. There are other shows that we could attend if you're feeling froggy, but
well, you got to remember too, we're going to be on the West Coast, so WrestleMania is probably going to finish up. At least on my time, I'm in the Central Time Zone around like 7. I would assume, and not in my time zone, so it'd be like LA 7 o'clock. But you get what I'm saying. It's going to be an early finish.
I would say by 9, yeah, because I think it goes off at like 4:30. I think it starts at like 4:30 West Coast, yeah. So there are events after. I haven't built a full itinerary. I'm kind of a schedule guy. Mikey Wilson can relate, but yeah. The only thing I have to get in a run Sunday morning, like Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I got to try to log a few miles. I'm in the middle of a marathon prep. So I got to do that, but
Sunday morning is like their only free time we really have anyway. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, Saturday morning I might try to run a couple, or I might not do anything at all. We got priorities. Got to find some mimosas, some brunch.
Gotta get ready. See, look at Ryan Vogus is in the chat. He'll be with us in LA for WrestleMania. So let me know where we're going, and I'll be there. Love to hear that. And of course, Robbie Collins is here after a week off. He says hello. What's going on, Robbie? He also saying he's going to be up till 4:30 a.m. 2 nights in a row. I don't envy that, Tuck.
Built different. I don't know how else to put it. Robbie Collins is built different. Also putting in work social media on Twitter. He's popping off. Collab with SCW Steve. Outstanding. 10 out of 10. Great guy.
Love to see it. The OTM community. Maybe it's more of the SCW community because Steve kind of extended an invite to us in the past. Great guy. Go check out his channel, and much love to Robbie Collins. Always supporting the show. Like you said, doing fantastic things. So make sure you give him a follow on Twitter. But yeah, we took the week off last week. Couldn't find a mutual time to record. You're in the middle of baseball season. March Madness has begun. So I'm betting and losing money. You're coaching. How the hell's the coaching going?
We got a great group of guys. Great attitudes. They work hard. I'm not going to talk about stats. We're not going to talk about record. We are developing young men.
Rome wasn't built in a day, Tuck. Don't forget that. You're building something different out there.
We are looking for Rome. We don't even know where Rome is at right now. Haven't really started laying the bricks, but great kids. I am having fun. It feels like we might be, knock on wood, might be out of the weather. Got an inch of snow 2 days ago, so who knows.
Speaking of weather, it's going to be decent in LA next weekend, right? Low 60s, mid 60s, I think I was saying.
Yeah, it could get up to upper 60s. Chance of showers. A little bit more Sunday leaning shower heavy. So bring a raincoat, if you will, maybe. But SoFi's covered, baby. Open air, but covered.
Oh, I can't wait to see that stadium. If you don't know about SoFi Stadium, they just recently built that building, I believe 3 years ago. It's where the LA Chargers play and the LA Rams. It is a $4 billion building. So that is definitely going to be the most expensive building I think I will ever step into. I mean, the excitement levels are off the chart. And that's why we're here. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to be talking about all the matches leading up to next week. But before we get into all that, don't forget to check out all the great merchandise we got at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. You know, like we say, it ain't cheap to do podcasts. It also isn't cheap to go to LA for WrestleMania. So you know what? I won't be mad at you if you make a purchase and help us out.
Please, come on now.
I don't want to sound like I'm begging.
Updates, give you some WrestleTix updates. SoFi Stadium, current setup for night 1 and 2 is 64,213. That's how many seats they have available in the stadium for purchase. As of right now, tickets distributed, night 1, 62,351. And then night 2, 62,961. About 1,200 available night 2, about 1,800 available night 1. Gonna be packed. That might be the most people I've been in a place with, I think, maybe.
Yeah, definitely for me too. I mean, I've attended a Final Four gathering near the stadium, but I never went inside to the Final Four. That probably would have taken the cake there. But yeah, other than that, it would probably be SummerSlam for the both of us in at Nashville Stadium. So this is definitely going to be the biggest crowd.
Stand and Deliver is currently set up for 7,399. They have 6,768 tickets distributed, 630 tickets left. So that one's going to be pretty packed.
That's actually more than I was expecting, because I texted you on the side yesterday. Wasn't too thrilled with the Stand and Deliver card that they put together. Obviously, it is headlined by Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker, which should be phenomenal. But other than that, there's a lot of multi-person matches that, I mean, maybe it'll exceed my expectations. Who knows? It's wrestling. It's WrestleMania weekend. I'm sure it'll be great in its own right. But let's just get into everything here, Tuck. This episode's pretty simple. We're just 9 days away from night 1 of WrestleMania. So let's dive into each of the feuds. But one more thing, though, I did forget to announce that next week, of course, will be our big WrestleMania show right before we take off. And we're bringing in a familiar face. She just doesn't want to stay away from us for that long. Erica Marini will be joining us next week for a WrestleMania preview show. Let's hear it. I know the chat's going to be excited for that one. And the chat is lighting up right now. We got my mother in the house. Hello, Mom. Good to see you there. Hopefully Ryan's watching along. I know he's ready for WrestleMania. Our part-time co-host, the man joining me this weekend in Grand Rapids, Ian, is in the chat. He says, hi, hello. Mikey Wilson, very excited for us. Love to hear that, Mikey. We got Liam in the chat. You guys win the games today, Tucky?
No, we got slapped. Took a no-hitter into the last inning. Thank the Lord we did get a hit and we could walk out there with our heads held high. Lost 4-1. No further comment.
Fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Bogus will be watching live from LA. Erica Macaroni is indeed back. So the first feud I wanted to talk about here as we head to WrestleMania is Rey Mysterio and Dominic. This is something they've been building to for pretty much 6 months now. It kind of started in the fall last year. And the build as a whole, I think Dom has drastically improved. I think we would both agree on that. When he's working heel with the Judgment Day, it makes sense. But it feels recently like we've been getting the same segment over and over again. And I get maybe they're not trying to officially announce this as a match right away, but am I alone in saying that this has felt kind of stale the last few weeks, like they're being repetitive with this whole situation?
I'd like to hear from the comment section about that, like what their opinions are. I do think it's flatter than I anticipated. Ray being so staunch about not fighting, I don't know that it's landed the way they thought it would, where it was going to be a gradual build up and Dom became more aggressive and Ray, and maybe we're not there yet, but we're kind of reshuffling the same arguments over and over. So I don't know if it has the legs. I don't know if they haven't announced the match yet.
No.
Is it Ray's last match? He's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, are they using is he going to announce that he's going to fight his son on the Hall of Fame announcement?
Well, that's what Ian brought up in the comment section. He says, do you like the idea of Dom potentially crashing the Hall of Fame? Is that something you would be interested in?
Well, there's going to have to be some kind of run, and those little videos are doing too well on social media. So I bet you, right? If anything, he tries to get in and is denied or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is what the direction they are headed in. We might get that announcement on Friday because I believe the Hall of Fame is after SmackDown on Peacock, which we probably won't be watching live. We'll be doing other things, but I mean, I'm excited for the match. I think Ray versus Dom is going to be a good one. I don't know if I'm quite ready for Ray to step away because maybe I'm alone on this thing. I still think Ray's got a lot to give to the business.
He continues to contribute. Yeah, I agree.
Let's go to the comments section, see what they're thinking about Dom versus Ray. Robbie says, Dom has improved so much. Just a shame he's repetitive right now. Really thought Ray was going to do something last week. Yeah, I think we all thought Ray was going to do something about it last week. Mikey Wilson's in agreement with us. He says it ain't landing because anyone's Dom age would be 6 feet under if they talk to their dad like that. I can confirm.
Mikey Wilson, Jerry, his dad, for real, probably tried to put him 6 feet under at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Mikey's speaking from experience.
Jerry don't play. Yeah, Jerry don't play that.
Yeah, he seems like a tough dude for sure. Vogus said they should make it a match for Ray's career. Do you think this should be a retirement match?
Well, I mean, you could if you make it for the career, you have Ray win the first one. Like, you can make it a trilogy, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it at SummerSlam.
Something like right now, I think we just kind of want to see Ray whoop Dom's ass, but like for what? You know, because Dom has been a shitty son a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the match is obviously going to happen at WrestleMania. They didn't invest this much time to just not do it, but I still am conflicted. I think if they do announce a retirement stipulation, it might affect my decision even more. But right now, I really couldn't confidently tell you if I'm going with Ray or Dominic in that match. I don't know if you would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of up in the air too. There's more to see from it to maybe influence my opinion.
More to squeeze out of this feud for sure. Ian says if they have their match, it's got to be the way to send Ray into a good retirement. And I get why a lot of people are thinking that, because usually when somebody gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, it means their career's almost over or it already is. And more recently, it seems like they're inducting people that are still active. And granted, Edge's situation was an anomaly. He stepped away for 9 years because of an injury. They put him in the Hall. He comes back, and now he's on his last run. I don't think you can compare that. It's a little different, but I see why people think this could eventually lead to the retirement of Rey Mysterio. But like I said earlier, I totally think there is more to Rey, and there's more to this feud, like you were saying, that they could maybe stretch this out into a trilogy. Ian is also saying they could embrace after the match. Dom shows a sign of a face change, causes a storyline in the Judgment Day. What are your thoughts on that comment?
Something.
Yeah. I just think it's too early for Dom to be face, personally.
And I don't know that he's got enough, like, he doesn't have enough juice to take over, you know, no. Like, and when he's kicked out, like, if he's kicked out for being, like, turning face, what, you know? And
I also believe it's a luchador thing to kind of pass the mask down to the next wrestler in the family. Would that be, I mean, maybe that's something too they go to, but I feel like if you do that, then Ray or Dom has to be a face, because nobody with a luchador mask is going to be a heel right out of the gate. It wouldn't make much sense. Mikey said, Ray ain't done, pal. Got a lot left. Yeah, Mikey's in agreement with me. But, I mean, other than it being repetitive, I think overall the feud has been good. Like you said, I mean, those clips where Ray and Dom are just showing up on the holidays, or not Ray and Dom and Rhea. I mean, it's a gold mine. So we'll see what's to come. But I think the build has been. We'll do this. We'll do this for every match. We'll rate it 1 out of 10 on how the build's been. What would you say the build has been for Ray versus Dom?
4.5.
I'll give it a 6. I think the stuff that they did, not recently, but over the past few months, has been pretty good. Robbie said the problem with Dom is when he does eventually leave the Judgment Day, will he be able to hold his own? I don't think so, Robbie says. I kind of agree.
Not tonight. Not today.
Mikey Wilson says -5. Oh, come on, Mikey. It's been better than a -5.
Tough critic. Mikey's super high praise ass. Like
there's no in between.
1,000. It's one of those. It's not really a 61 kind of guy,
Fair enough. So let's move on to another one. It was just recently announced that we'll be getting 2 multi-person tag team showcase matches at WrestleMania, which it's fine for me because usually, or at least in the past, they did battle royals to get people on the card. And I get it. You want to get people like the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, Braun, and Ricochet on the card. But what's your overall take on these showcase matches? You excited? You're just whatever.
Is it for #1 contendership or something? Like,
as of right now, it's not.
I think it should be, right? At least it's for something. It's WrestleMania, right? Like, or put it on the pre-show. I do know that this is going to be one of the matches I'm most hyped for because I'm wearing a Street Profits shirt. So I'm going to be like oddly like hyped for this one, and it's Street Profits.
Probably the only one in our section.
You'd be like, why does this guy care? I'm wearing a shirt, so it is what it is.
We did vibe to Nashville when the Street Profits came out for that tag team match. We were vibing to the
we got it going.
At the maybe we'll get it going.
Meet and greet thing, yeah, they got it.
Oh yeah, that was fun to see them at a gas station just handing out C4 energy drinks. Ian says I missed the Andre the Giant match. There, I said it. I don't. But hey, everybody has their takes. Ryan Voga said Mania Lemonade break during the women's showcase match. Yeah, for the women's side of things, Rhea and Liv are the only ones announced. So maybe Ronda and Shayna get into that
Raquel
match.
And Liv.
Raquel and Liv, which is another thrown together tag team for their women's division. That seems to be a common thing for them.
I thought there was more. Is it going to be Chelsea Green and somebody?
Maybe Piper Niven. Because Piper Niven and her had a thing going on Monday Night Raw. I think it originally was supposed to be Carmella, but I'm not sure what's going on with her. Robbie said the tag team showcase is the thing I'm least excited for. Yeah, I would definitely agree. Mikey Wilson asks, who is the better tag team, Braun and Ricochet or Braun and the Kid who won the tag titles with? You got an answer to that
one? He's referring to Nick. Don't put some respect on him.
Nicholas. Yeah.
Nicholas, yes. Confirmed only one women's tag team. I'm going Braun and Ricochet in that one. So,
oh wow, there you go. Spoiler alert for the predictions contest that we'll be doing next week.
His pick: Braun and Ricochet or Braun and Nicholas.
Oh, okay, I got you. But you probably still would lean towards Braun and Ricochet. That are the Street Profits, but we'll get there next week.
Street Profits, come on.
Fair enough. Mikey says this is a good one. Mikey says Ian talks more in the comments section than on the show. Fact.
Got him.
Got team. We don't need to grade the tag team showcase because it's really just
because we were grading the build. You said grade the build, no build, zeros across the board.
No build. It's a filler. I'm glad people are getting on the card. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll serve its purpose. But it was announced this past Friday on SmackDown that the IC title match at WrestleMania will now be a triple threat due to Imperium's interference in that Sheamus and Drew match on SmackDown. And we knew this was a possibility a few weeks ago. We saw the rumors of this becoming a triple threat, and here we are. Now we know we are going to be getting that at WrestleMania. This is a match where it's big meaty men bumping meat and it could steal the show.
I think it's drawn some criticism on social media, but what you're gonna. This thing's gonna be hard hitting. 3 big dudes getting after it. It's going to be physical. It's going to be aggressive and violent, but it's going to be grunt, chops and slaps and that kind of stuff. Not death match. John Moxley bleeding him 30 seconds into the match. It's just going to be aggressive and physical, and I'm excited for it. Could be match of the night or nights.
I would probably agree with Vogus. He said this is a top 3 match excitement for me. What about you?
Yeah, same thing.
And like Robbie said, only one word for this triple threat, and that's banger after banger after banger after banger. And you can get that t-shirt at the onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com right in time for WrestleMania weekend. It would be a great pickup for you. It's another tough match to call for next week because I think you can make a good case for everybody. Drew, he's had one of the better decades, I would say, here in the 2020s. He's put together some good years. Sheamus has never won the IC title, so you can put that on the resume if he wins at WrestleMania. And do you really even want to take the IC title off of Gunther right now because he's so hot? It's a tough one.
Well, is he ready to go to that next tier and start working his way up that kind of big title ladder? Is Cody gonna hold both titles after Mania? Is there a plan for Gunther? And you have three compelling candidates. I mean, it's easy to get excited about that match. Something's on the line. You have a pretty good idea of the match type you're going to get, and you have high expectations because all three guys are capable. Like, that's a powder keg for a great match.
Yeah, you can't go wrong here whatsoever. Ian asks, would you have been upset if Lesnar was in the triple threat then to make it a fatal four-way? I would assume. No, I'd be better than Omos, in my opinion.
Yeah, better for Lesnar than Omos, but I think that does change the match type a little bit, and I am completely fine with Drew, Sheamus, and Gunther. So I wouldn't pick him over that three because of what I want out of that match, selfishly.
And I think Lesnar being inserted in that storyline, looking at it through the storyline lens, it wouldn't make as much sense.
Right.
Sheamus and Drew, it makes sense. They've been a thing together on and off over the past couple months, and Sheamus and Gunther have that history, obviously having the match of the year last year at the Clash at the Castle. Ryan Voga said Gunther versus Cody would slap. Imagine that being your main event at SummerSlam for one of the titles.
Yeah.
You could say anybody with Gunther, though, would slap, right? Like, name a match with Gunther that you wouldn't be excited for.
And a lot of people that don't know him still give him like the like loss of credibility, like dad bod. But like, dude, think about where he was. Like, he's put in the work, dude. He's working hard.
Oh, he deserves to be where they are. And I think I was talking to Jeremy Tillema, our referee friend, and he was saying that he would like to see more of Imperium as a tag team with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, which I would agree. I think it would be a very cool visual of eventually maybe Gunther holds on to that IC title and then Imperium gets the straps too, just them with all the gold, and then maybe even going up against the Bloodline or Legado del Fantasma now that they've turned face. I feel like there's a lot of options there.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's another solid tag team to add to the tag division. Can you have too many tag teams? Has there ever been a tag team problem like that? Like, too many?
Yeah, they have a good problem. Yeah, I think there is more credible tag teams in the WWE, and you still have teams like Pretty Deadly, who I think, and you would agree, I know for sure, are ready tomorrow to be on the main roster. Like,
yes, boy.
Yes, boy. I mean, get them up there. You got the Creed brothers also down in NXT who put on awesome matches. And hell, I think Jinder, Veer, and I forgot the other guy's name, Indashir is their group. You could bring them up to the main roster and do something probably.
Mm-hmm.
What you munching on over there? You got any good snacks?
Gum
today?
Mentos gum, just to snack on.
You a gum over a mint guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was gum guy back in the day, but I've switched to mints. I don't know if it's an age thing. There's your gum and mint talk right there on OTM. So for this build, for the IC title match, what would you rank this match?
My excitement level is like 9.76 out of 10. The build itself has been a little weird, but good. I'm 7.
That's exactly where I was at.
The build hasn't been out like amazing, but the match will be.
Oh, absolutely. Are they on the NXT card? I believe he is referring to Indashir or the Creeds. Neither, I believe. Oh, no, the Creeds are on the NXT Stand and Deliver.
The Creeds are in the match. Pretty Deadly's hosting.
Pretty Deadly is hosting, yeah, Stand and Deliver. So you got the Miz hosting WrestleMania. So you got to have a host for everything
that
on WrestleMania.
Sense. Yeah.
Ian says, talks about Big E returning at Mania. Where do you see him returning? With the New Day in some manner or as a singles competitor? First off, I haven't seen those reports. Have you?
I have not been privy to that either, but I would like to see him return as a single. Give me more of that.
Yeah. I think what he was doing as a singles competitor, winning the WWE title, cashing in on Bobby Lashley, was good stuff. And with Kofi's injury now, I mean, you do have the option to pair him up with Xavier Woods and go in the tag division, but they've done that before. I think Big E as a solo guy would be the move. Focus says, is it Werther's or Weathers? I know what candy is. Werther's. He's talking about the hard candies for Gags when he turns 30, which is only a couple months away, which I do like those things, by the way.
I don't like them better than gum.
No, not better than gum. Was referring to Pretty Deadly is what he was saying. Yeah, they are the host of NXT Stand and Deliver. So
the host boys.
That's right. It's going to be an early morning there for Stand and Deliver. More things happening, though, on SmackDown as we got to witness the moment we've all been waiting for in this story with the Bloodline. And it's that Sami and Jay had their face-to-face that eventually led to physicality to close out the show. And Kevin Owens would come in for the save, give his old friend a big hug to a huge ovation to end Friday Night SmackDown. That's a moment we've all been waiting for. And the payoff was just too sweet right there. We're finally getting it. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Uso at WrestleMania. How are we feeling about this one?
I praise Kevin Owens for such an aggressive hug. He went one arm up top, brought him in like a real one. Love that. This is a main event worthy, right? Like main event night one. We don't know the order. And then you have the argument that a women's match should main event one of the nights. And I agree with that as well. Very excited for this match. And look at freaking Sami Zayn, dude. A year ago, he was in a jackass match against Johnny Knoxville in a mousetrap. And it just continues to remain relevant,
Yeah, Vogus brought up the Gunther match being in the top three. This would be in my top three with the main event as well, just based on how much time they have devoted to the whole Bloodline story. And you brought up the fact that a lot of people are saying that this should main event night one, which I agree. And you brought up the point. Rhea did win the Royal Rumble where you were technically supposed to main event WrestleMania, but if you're just going off of, the crowd's reaction and the storyline behind everything, I think your only option to main event night one is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos.
Yep. Build wise, like what the people want, the Rhea and Charlotte match is going to be great. I think it'll be great. It's going to be outstanding. I really interested in the Sami KO Usos match.
Ian says, don't hate on Sami versus Knoxville. I don't think you were hating. You're just showing where he was last year compared to.
That's his range. Like that, it's a compliment to him. That match was kind of good for great for what it was supposed to be too. It was fun. It was entertaining. Nobody took it too seriously. And now he's in it. He fought for the undisputed WWE title. Like, come on. Wild.
He made himself a bigger deal over the past calendar year for sure. And some things in wrestling are very predictable. I think we all eventually saw this reuniting of Sami and KO, but sometimes the predictable stuff is the good stuff. Just listen to that crowd's reaction. Everybody wants to see KO and Sami Zayn dethrone the Usos. I mean, look at our chat right now. You got Robbie Collins saying it right there. He says it's Sami and KO's time. It's their time to shine. And I think that's what this is leading up to. But you have so much going on with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. We saw it on SmackDown. You see it on Monday Night Raw. I feel like we're not done with Jey and Roman. There seems like there's going to be more to that story.
Yeah, I agree. I'm interested to see how that one, how that goes, and how that plays into the main event. In the Roman and Cody match, do the Usos lose on night one and kind of not be there for Roman? Because that's Roman wins because of the bloodline, and they play a factor in many decisions, right? So I'm interested. There's layers to it, and it makes it even more compelling.
And what's Solo's involvement going to be? Is he going to be involved in both of these matches? Is he going to be ringside for both, or is Paul Heyman just going to be there for Roman Reigns on night two? I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. I would say that this build for this tag match is a 10 out of 10. What about you?
Yeah, 9.5, 9, 10.
I don't think you could do better. I don't think you could do better than what they're doing right here. And like Ian said, if there was ever a tag team match to be the first Mania main event, it would be this. Correction, it would be the second main event. Do you know the other tag team WrestleMania main event?
the other tag team WrestleMania main event. I don't, not off the top of my head. I do not.
WrestleMania 1. I believe it was Hogan and Big John Studd versus Mr. T. Yeah, I believe that was the only other one to main event WrestleMania. But Ian's right. This definitely deserves a spot to main event night 1. I don't think there was any other matches that main event at WrestleMania, at least any tag team matches is what I'm getting at. But we got a few more matches.
I'm going through the list now. Yeah, the first one was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Orndorff and Roddy Piper.
That's what it is.
And then there's been a fatal 4-way. There's been things, triple threats. I think that's the only other last match. Yeah,
I get the Rhea Charlotte thing that they I don't know if deserves the word, but by definition, when you win the Royal Rumble, you're main eventing WrestleMania. So I do get that, but the build for Rhea and Charlotte, granted, it's been better than the other women's feud going on, but it still is not even close to the level of Sami and the Bloodline. It's just, it doesn't make much sense to me to have the women main event. I'm sorry. Tuck sounding like LA Knight there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you just purchase an LA Knight t-shirt too?
I'm gonna be wearing that. I'm gonna be repping LA Knight night 1 or night 2. I gotta see if I can figure out when the tag match is. Gotta really get hyped for that. And my Chase U shirt. We gotta have a midday wardrobe change. It's gonna be iconic.
Oh, you're gonna be pulling off the wardrobe change too.
We have to.
You're talking about going into WrestleMania. I'm gonna have a wardrobe change at TakeOver.
That's aggressive.
I'm bringing. I maybe I won't do it, but I just bought a Carmelo Hayes shirt because like, oh yeah, he's going to definitely face Braun there, and I want to see him defeat Braun. But then you bring my boy Johnny Gargano into the mix. It's like, how can I not wear a Johnny Wrestling?
We got two shirt Liarda. Him.
I would like to know which matches are going on each night though for WrestleMania, because obviously I'm going to wear Cody night 2, but night 1's up in the air. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Ian said both the women's title matches have been tough, just overshadowed by other storylines, which could be the case for sure. But we got a few more matches to talk about here on the road to WrestleMania. But before we do so, we got to hear what the listeners are saying about the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
What's everybody saying about the On the Mark podcast?
It's just insane, and I love it.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
Unlike any other.
It's a great show.
We'll be right back after a brief intermission.
Got a question for you.
Answer.
Over under Tucky purchases at the WrestleMania Superstore. I'm setting the line at 5.5. Over under.
Items.
So
that's over.
Yeah.
That's over. I thought you were talking about 5.5 separate transactions. Yeah, I could argue an under there. Come on though.
I might be over because I know there's a few people that want WrestleMania gear when I go, so I'm going to cop that for them. I got to get my brother a birthday gift because when I come back, it's his birthday, April 7th, which also lands on Ralph's retirement day. So I got a lot of things coming up. Yeah, a lot of things coming up. This weekend, I didn't even mention it here on the podcast, though. Me and Ian will be attending Warrior Wrestling in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we might vlog it. There might be a vlog on the OTM YouTube channel. You will
vlog it. Do it.
I can't say too much on here, but you will probably see Ian and I in our OTM polos the entire show on camera. So it is free to watch on YouTube. Just make sure you're following Warrior Wrestling on
Thank God you don't have to pay for that experience.
Well, I mean,
a lot.
Oh, no, that's why they did it. They're like, oh, we got the OTM boys coming in. We'll just make it free because they could screw things up. It's understandable. We got 8 comments here though, so let's go to the comment section before we get into the next feud. We got SCW Steve. Love to see you here, Steve. He said, "Oh damn, I forgot the time difference is different this week. Hope you guys are doing well." Yeah, the time difference is a little wonky now that they changed it over here. Robbie said Gallus greater than pretty deadly, by the way. Those are fighting words.
Yeah, Robbie Collins, you're dead to me. Good luck ever being MVM ever again.
Ian's taking the over on Tucky purchases. Robbie is excited for the Vlog Boys. Ian said, we got Vlogliarda and Vlogavalia going into Warrior Wrestling this Sunday. So I got the very good game on in the background, by the way. So if you see me looking up, I am watching March Madness. We got Michigan State and Kansas State coming down to the wire. I'm not going to win this bet. So let's move on to Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. I want to talk about Logan Paul specifically some more because when I was watching that impulsive segment on Monday Night Raw, I have to commend him for how effortless he does these promos. He composes himself in the ring because that dude cuts a better promo than half the roster, Tuck. He is the real deal.
He kind of is the total package. Like he mentioned on his last promo in Raw, he's like, I can do it all. A lot of money, big brand, backs it up on the mic, hyper athletic. Like, come on, dude.
And I saw somebody respond to me. They were like, oh, Logan Paul is a media personality. It's not that hard for him to go out there. It's different cutting a wrestling promo than it is shooting a YouTube video or a podcast, you know? Like
you can edit a video, you can edit a podcast, you can't edit, red light, hard cam, promo, 15,000 people. It's hard.
And Robbie says Seth versus Logan match of the night for me. And it could be. I mean, we know how talented Seth Rollins is. Ian brings up this point. I wonder how strict they are to Logan following a script for his promos because they feel real. I kind of noticed that on Impulsive TV. Like even when Seth came out, I believe he was talking over the entrance music, wasn't he? Like he don't give a damn.
Well, I think he plays into it. Like that's who he is. The rules don't apply to him.
And like Steve saying, Logan as a heel is so natural, and it showed in that promo on Monday. Excellent work. The build to Logan and Seth has been strong. Could steal the weekend, this one. And I think a lot of people are in agreement that it could potentially steal WrestleMania. I'm very excited for you. How have you felt about the build overall between him and Seth?
Good. 9. Strong build. I've liked it.
And we're going to overtime here in this game. I thought I was going to witness a buzzer beater here. I know nobody cares, but I'm a big sports guy, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw, Family Divided tweeted out an Undertaker emoji a couple days ago. I don't know what that's about. I can't speak on it, Tuck, but keep your eyes peeled.
For the comment section, I am going to call bullshit on that, but...
Oh, speaking of sports podcasts, though, our co-host, Ian, he has his own sports podcast now. It's the Pro and Bro Show. Were you able to check that out?
I haven't heard a second of it.
Oh, look at you. You're a busy man, though, right? Busy man.
Yes.
Ian,
I'll make time.
Ian, you commented this too late. I already got you. He goes, I heard there was another pod on the
part-time.
Does he not know I'm a professional here? Come on.
Yeah, I know.
You know that. So you said about a 9 out of 10 for the build to this match?
I'm excited for it. There's going to be something TikTokable about it. What is it going to be?
I can't even guess because, the things that these two are capable of, you really can't pinpoint it. A couple more comments here. Let's get to them. Voga said, better chance of seeing Tuck's baseball pod come back. Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Robbie says, wonder if he turns up for his own podcast more than OTM. Well, technically, I don't think we invited Ian this week. We kind of just said hang out backstage. He didn't need to be here. And Ian says he misses Wheelhouse, by the way. If you don't know what Wheelhouse is, it's Tuck's old podcast. It's been a couple of years, right? You guys haven't recorded in a couple of years.
It's been a long time, yeah.
That's sad. RIP to Wheelhouse and RIP to Family Divided. But hey, we got OTM here on the Overtime Sports Network, the new flagship show, I guess we could say. So another match they're building up to, or lack thereof, is Bianca versus Asuka. And I'm starting to kind of feel bad for Bianca Belair because it seems like no matter who her opponent is, the build to all of her matches has just been met. You go back to Alexa Bliss just recently at the Royal Rumble. Didn't know what the hell they were doing there. And now we got Asuka and Bianca. Where's the progression? Whoa, Alexa, turn off. Note to self, don't say those words because apparently it turns on your whole TV. Look at that.
we got trouble in the Liarda home.
See, this is what happens when you record in a different spot.
Well, and yell Alexa in your house with that as a, it gets that. But they don't have. I don't think Bianca Belair is the problem. But who's next? Like they got a heel problem.
Yeah, that honestly is what it is. Because after Asuka, it can't be Carmella. We thought so originally when the Royal Rumble happened and Rhea won. I thought we were getting Rhea versus Bianca, and I'm going to stick by that. I think that's the matchup we should have gotten, and then maybe you could have given Charlotte. There's better options out there. You could have given Charlotte. Yeah, so you could even run back Charlotte and Asuka, who had a really good match at WrestleMania a few years ago. Like. But what has been the problem with this feud? Can you pinpoint it, or is it just not connecting?
What, like Asuka's facing Bianca because Asuka's good and Bianca's the champion? Like, you don't have the Cody Roman storyline. You don't have the KO Uso storyline. The Logan Paul Seth Rollins story. Like, there's something to care about. There's some meat on the bone.
There's no juice to it.
The match itself will be great. You have two great professional wrestlers. That I think the match will be good to great, but I don't super care about it. And I love Bianca Belair. I'm gonna be dancing.
We're gonna be vibing to Bianca for sure. And Ian might make a good point here. He says two faces going up against each other in a big match is hard to build up to, and I think that is probably what needs to happen then at WrestleMania. Since I believe Asuka's still a face, I feel like she's being kind of presented that way, but I think we're due for an Asuka heel turn at WrestleMania. Like that would be a good way to prolong this feud a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it's just weird using WrestleMania to launch a story as opposed to like finish it. It's a different vibe, but we got SummerSlam in a couple of months. Saw the SummerSlam logo. Don't love it.
Really? I kind of like it.
I'm fine with
I like the customizable logos to the cities, like to represent the city that they're doing.
Yeah,
I think the concepts, but the execution.
The Nashville one was dope. Yeah,
it was. So yeah, that one wasn't as good, I guess, if you compare the two. Robbie said, "Only me who doesn't really like Bianca versus Asuka. Something about this I just don't like. Bit bland, I think." Steve said, "It's a shame that the build hasn't been great, as we know this match should be a banger when the bell rings," which is kind of what you were getting to, Tuck. So overall, 1 through 10, build for Asuka versus Bianca.
2.
Yeah.
That's all I got. And I'm giving it, like elevating it to a 2 because Asuka has face paint from now. Like she re-debuted at the Rumble, and she's had mist though.
Oh, that's true. But this one's blue.
Asuka's had the okay.
Blue mist hits different. You didn't know?
It probably tastes. Maybe it tastes different. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, hopefully it just exceeds our expectations since we're not too excited going into that one. But we got one more big matchup to talk about, and it is the main event of next weekend. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. We saw the writing on the wall once Cody won the Royal Rumble. To me personally, I would say this match has finally reached its apex, like the hype level. I think we are at a perfect 10 out of 10. I think it sealed the deal at the end of Monday Night Raw. Like that was the bow on top of the feud. I don't need to see anything else from this. What about you? Do you think there needs to be just something else that happens next week? Because I'm totally content with that being the last time these two ever see each other until Mania.
I don't know that they need to see each other. Like I keep them separated now. Maybe like what are you going to get out of it? Like I'm happy. I'm ready for it.
And I can't tell you the last time I was this excited for a WrestleMania main event. Like, go back to the WrestleManias you've seen over the past decade. Can you say there's another one that you were more hyped for?
No, not really. I'm pretty hyped. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Robbie's saying, this determines Jay and his loyalty to the bloodline. And I think what happens on night one might affect what happens on night two. Ian said, I finally got into the mindset of Cody having to win. What they do with this title reign is what worries me. Would you agree that Cody has to win? That there's no way you can make a case for Roman Reigns in this one?
I don't know that Cody has to win, but I think he will.
Do you want Cody to win? Are you team Cody at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I want Cody to win. Let's go.
And of course, we see the reports of Roman Reigns maybe taking some time off. I take that with a grain of salt because you obviously can't trust everything that you see on the internet, as we've learned in the past when there was rumors of the Saudis buying the WWE, and that ultimately didn't happen. But I mean, that let's go back to that segment on Monday Night Raw, because both men gave their statements and talked some trash about each other. Reigns said Rhodes wasn't cut for this, and Rhodes kind of talked about how he is not his father and will knock Reigns out. And the American Nightmare said everyone would eventually leave the tribe. He said that Reigns, he's going to have issues with Solo Sikoa down the road, maybe, and that he's not ready to make that next step. And maybe the Usos betray him. So he's putting doubt into Roman Reigns, which I think that's where you get a little weakness on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and shout out to Roman for how he's reacting and the sell of it all from his angle, looking human, cracks in the armor.
For sure. You can 100% make a case for Roman, and I think Roman will win, to be honest, is what Robbie is saying. So there's definitely a case for Roman Reigns. They want to probably get to 1,000 days just because WWE loves accolades. There's still plenty of other matches you can have afterwards. The Cody story wouldn't end if Roman Reigns wins at WrestleMania. Like, there's going to be more to it. It's just, at what point do people just get tired of Roman Reigns? Is that a thought that's crossed your mind? Have you gotten tired of seeing Roman Reigns as champion?
Well, he beats Cody, then who? Like, what's the next part? Like, this has been great. But also the idea of Cody as champion is great too. I enjoy that. Triple H inherited Roman, and Cody would be the first stamp, like his first champ to work with, which I think would be interesting. Like his first champ to book from the beginning, with Cody smashing the Triple H throne. You got those layers and those ties and connections. And then is Roman going to reach 1,000 days? And I think that's what makes it such an appealing, compelling main event.
And we saw reports that maybe the WWE is going to legalize gambling. And I saw some lines. If you're not familiar with betting, Cody Rhodes is minus 500, which means he is a heavy favorite. If you put $10 on Cody Rhodes, you're only winning $5, or maybe it's $2. Maybe I'm wrong. It might be $2 in that case. So that just shows you, how big of a favorite Cody is going into this match. But I don't think that's a foregone conclusion, because there definitely is a way you can keep this going. Let's go to Steve's comment here. He said, every promo and every step in this story has been brilliant. Kudos all around. My question is, have we learned what the fallout to WrestleMania 30 could be for Reigns, for Bloodline, and Cody? I think that's the biggest question there, Tuck.
Well, and then what's Backlash going to look like?
That's in Puerto Rico, right?
Okay, yeah, that'll be fun.
Bad Bunny's hosting too. They love the host.
Oh yeah, they're into it. They're making it like they're trying to make it a global brand. They're busting their butt, So,
Ian asks, how in the hell would you build up Cody again for a title shot? Easy interference.
Well, there's interference. Yeah, you just weaken the victory for Roman.
Paul does something.
Solo, who mentioned it? I think holding Solo back. Somebody mentioned it.
Oh, did I miss a Solo comment in the chat? I'm sorry if I did. There's a lot of comments coming in. I appreciate the comments, by the way. If
so do I. But he had basically he told Solo to back down, and maybe at WrestleMania Solo doesn't back down, So there's something in there.
with that promo on Raw too, I love Cody's like subtle hint to if Roman Reigns were to lose, that Heyman could eventually become just an advocate again. And obviously, if you dive deeper into those words, he's basically saying once you lose Roman, Heyman's probably just going to go right back to Brock. Like, he's got Brock right there. And that's another thing that gets Roman Reigns second guessing himself. Do I have the backing of the wise man who I've had for 3 years? Which, by the way, I think you know of this. There is a YouTube video that is 2 hours long that tells you the entire story of the bloodline from the minute Roman Reigns returned. Wow. I am 30 minutes into it and rewatching it. I kind of forget what happened. Like, you go back to the Thunderdome. He faced Jay twice. He faced him at Clash of Champions or whatever they call it. And then that Hell in the Cell. And then Jay, after losing, joins the bloodline. And that's how they became a cohesive unit. And then this could ultimately come back to Jay, taking a title off of Roman Reigns. That's what's crazy about this. 3 years later, we're still talking about it.
Yeah, it's been a while. I still remember the rush to the TV to see Heyman with Roman at my house. You were there, weren't you?
Oh yeah, that's right. Because didn't somebody say "holy shit" or something like that in our group chat? We're like, oh, we got to see this.
Yeah, we were into it.
And then we watched one of the WrestleManias, the COVID WrestleMania at your place. God, I missed having you out here, but I get to embrace into your arms 8 days from now. We're gonna give a big OTM hug. Get it on the socials. A little reuniting of the OTM crew. We'll have the MVM Brian Vogus there as well. So very much looking forward to that, as I am this week. And like I said, making the trip to Grand Rapids, Michigan. But I think that's pretty much all the matches, or at least the build I wanted to talk about. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we sign off?
No, man, I'm excited. Sad that I have to miss the prediction show next week because I have a game up in Reno.
You do?
But, yeah, I've got a game. It's a Thursday. Like every Thursday from now until like May, I'm kind of booked. So, but yeah, I'm excited for WrestleMania, and it's there was moments there where we were like, "What's this going to look like?" But it's WrestleMania. There's a lot of big matches. Lesnar and Omos, we didn't even really talk about.
Let's talk about that. So how do you feel about that? Because obviously when we heard it was announced and it was official, we're like, ugh. But they've tried to build it up into something. How do you feel about it?
I'm interested. Like, is this like a step down for Omos, or does he win? Does Omos win? Like, I don't know.
There's going to be a moment.
Is there Hurt Business ramifications? There's some stuff. There are some reasons to maybe care a little bit. Interest not super high, but I don't know that I'm running to the bathroom for this one.
Man, I tell you what, I like that Hurt Business idea, and I think that's a good way for Lesnar to potentially lose to Omos too. Is just them getting involved ringside, distracting him on every single side of the ring. And then Omos, I don't even know what the fuck Omos's finisher is. He finishes Brock Lesnar. A lot of people would probably be pissed about it, but that's an interesting idea. A few more comments here. Thoughts on Bray Wyatt? Ian asks. Obviously, he was pulled or he no-showed. What do you know the story with the whole Madison Square Garden show?
He's injured.
He's injured.
What I've read, it's a physical problem.
So that means Bobby's not on the card then, right, for WrestleMania?
As of right now, I don't believe he is. That kind of stinks.
Yeah, it does. Oh, Theory and Cena we didn't talk about either. I think the build for that's been pretty solid, even though we haven't seen much Cena.
I'm excited for that. I watched the Cena Rock Rivals episode this morning. It got me hyped up. It was enjoyable, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out for sure. Robbie said Lesnar versus Omos feels like a match where they will try to build up Omos, maybe even have him win like a showcase. Yeah, for sure. That's probably where they're going. And who knows? Maybe that is the last time we see Brock Lesnar. I know we won't be seeing Goldberg anytime soon. And Tony Khan's interested in Goldberg. You see that?
Yeah. Yep.
He and Ryan Vogus, the only ones interested in Goldberg.
Yeah.
I'll never like him. I'm sorry. We all can't like this.
I was big into him when I was a kid. He was a bad dude.
He was an attraction.
Jackknife to Kevin Nash, dude. Come on.
Jackknife, spear, get the hell out of there. It worked. I get it, but here we are at the end of episode 139, where we award our MVM, the most valuable mark of the podcast, the person that's interacting the most, giving the best quality comments, and surprisingly, a very active chat in our return episode after taking a week off. Our part-time co-host, Ian, cannot win MVM, even though, Ian, we do appreciate the comments you added to the show. You might as well have just came on the show and recorded with us at this point. So honestly, I think by default, the man was here from the very beginning. He's been riding with us for the past year. The new MVM of OTM is Mr. Robbie Collins.
Well deserved. Bell to bell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ian's pissed. He said, no. All right, I'm out of here. Was that his only reason for being here, was to win MVM?
Feels like it. I don't know. Only in it to win it. And he still lost. So that's it.
That's a shame. So congrats to Robbie, a multiple-time MVM of OTM. We'll see if he can retain that next week for our WrestleMania preview show. Hashtag GBOT, and don't you forget it, Tuck. What does GBOT stand for?
I don't know what that means, but Robbie, I voted for you. It was my idea. You're welcome.
Even though you guys were going at it early in the episode.
I'm a man of sportsmanship. I'm a sporting fella.
You're fair. Appreciate you, Robbie. It's a good show, as always. Yeah, we got big things coming up. 8 days away, like we said. And once again, if you are looking for something to watch this Saturday, Ian and I will be live at Warrior Wrestling, an independent company. They got John Morrison on the card, Zach Wentz. There's a lot of big names that are going to be on that show. You even have Top Flight from AEW. They're going to be there as well. So that is free on YouTube. Go ahead and follow Warrior Wrestling on Twitter for more information, and look for us in our black OTM polos. Get a screen grab. I want to see myself on a pay-per-view other than Billy Starks knocking the hat off of my head. You probably loved that clip, didn't you?
10 out of 10. One of my favorites.
Shout out to
gags.
Shout out to Billy Starks. Billy Starks is the reason basically I've been shaving my head now. So thanks, because
oh wow.
I saw the gaping bald spot on the back of my head, which has always been there. Like the bald just steadily has been creeping in. And then when I saw it on a pay-per-view, I'm like, you know what? It's bald time.
Yeah,
it's just that.
That's where we're at.
You got to embrace it. Ian said came back for Billy Starks talk. Ian, a big fan of Billy Starks indeed. But yeah, I think that's it. Tucky, why don't you send us home?
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow at Pot on the Mark on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Join us. Head over to the On the Mark Wrestling on the markwrestlingpodcast.com for all your merch needs. A week from today, WrestleMania predictions. 8 days from today, Gagliarda, Vogus, Tucker, reunited. 9 days from now, we got WrestleMania Night 1 and NXT Stand and Deliver. 10 days from now, we got WrestleMania Night 2. And there's some shenanigans in between for the three of us. I look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit like, subscribe, get the bell going.
Ring the fucking bell like Ian might be doing this weekend.
What he said.
I got to be the heel. Doug. It's just how I roll.
Dropping the hammer, Heliarda. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.